Coming up on the Q30 Newscast, Eli's on Whitney receives a C rating. Find out why the Hamden hotspot is under fire.
Plus, Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and the Quinnipiac Post Office is gearing up for a big increase in packages.
And the Bobcats are helping raise money for California after the wildfires tore through the Golden State.
All that and more coming up on the Q30 Newscast. Stay with us. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Matt Fortin.
And I'm Alex Taglieri.
Students enjoyed their first snow day of the year yesterday, but could more be on the way?
Q30's Kerry Golden is here with a preview of her 7-day forecast. Kerry, what can you tell us?
Matt, Alex, that's right. Yesterday's storm condition did leave Hamden a little icy this morning, causing the university to actually have a delay in classes. But will that be the result for the rest of the week? Let's take a quick look here. Today, it was a high of 42, so hopefully some of that ice and snow is melting away. Thursday, as in tomorrow, we're looking at a high of 41 and a low of 32, so hopefully, again, that ice will just melt away due to the sun. But it is going to have some rain coming in on Friday, so we might still have some ice, but stay with us for the full weather forecast to see if snow is in the future. Back to you guys.
4 Hamden restaurants failed their most recent inspections, including a hotspot for Quinnipiac students. Callie Keys has the story.
Thanks, guys. I'm here in front of one of Quinnipiac students' favorite restaurants, Eli's on Whitney. Back in December, they received a C grading during a food inspection. Let's take a look. Almost every student has eaten at Eli's on Whitney, or its sister restaurant Eli's Brick Oven Pizza Market, in their time at Quinnipiac. Some more often than others. On December 5th, Eli's received a C grade with a score of 88 out of 100 after a health inspection conducted by the Quinnipiac Valley Health Department. According to the New Haven Register, it failed inspection because of a 4-point violation for failing to keep food cold, like chicken wings, numerous soups, chowder, rice, and broth. Eli's was also cited for not sanitizing cleaning rags regularly enough. Earlier last week, Eli's was re-inspected and received a 92 out of 100, receiving a B grade. Brooke Reilly, director of operations for Eli's Restaurant Group, said in a statement to Q30 News, quote, "We at Eli's take sanitation very seriously and have numerous checklists and safeguards in place to ensure the safety of our guests and our staff. We have been providing a safe eating environment for the past 24 years and will continue to do so in the future." Quinnipiac students are reacting to the news of this failed inspection grade at Eli's on Whitney.
I actually got food poisoning at a restaurant not too long ago. Their rating was well. It does happen, but the fact that they have a C at Eli's is pretty scary, to be honest.
That's kind of shocking. I feel like it's everyone's go-to. I thought that they would maybe do a better job of making sure that their ratings are up to par.
This situation has some students now considering thinking twice next time they go out to eat. Many admitting they usually do not check a restaurant's inspection grade before eating there.
If I can see the ratings, yes. Like most restaurants have their ratings up on the wall where you can see it. I've never seen one on the wall there.
If I'm trying somewhere new, yeah, maybe I'll look on Yelp.
I've never really heard any complaints about Eli's, so I never thought to look at the rating there.
You don't have to go up to a restaurant's window to find out their restaurant inspection rating. You can go to www.qvhd.org to find out all the restaurant ratings for restaurants in Hamden, North Haven, and Woodbridge. In Hamden, for Q30 News, Callie Keys.
With Valentine's Day only a day away, Quinnipiac Mail Services are working hard to get Quinnipiac students gifts and flowers to them on time. Today, the mail centers both on the Mount Carmel and York Hill campuses extended their hours to 6 p.m. On a typical day, mail services receives about 1,000 to 1,500 packages a day. But during the week of Valentine's Day, they received 3,000 a day. Q30 News spoke to Supervisor Eduardo Martone, who said with the university closure yesterday, quote, "The Mail Services Center is trying to do the best on what they could to have a smooth turnaround and still meet the deadline of having every student pick up their package on time. Our turnaround is 24 hours, but in most cases, the students pick up their packages on the same day," end quote. Your future. That's the theme of the TED Talk being held here on April 30th. TEDx Talks are independently organized and held on all types of topics. After applying to be a speaker at the TEDx event, participants will have to go through a live audition the week of February 25th. To be selected, you must have public speaking skills and be a current faculty, staff, student, or alumni of Quinnipiac. According to MyQ, the goal of the event is to bring together bright minds to give talks that are idea-focused on a wide range of subjects in order to foster learning, inspiration, and wonder, end quote.
Well, if you have a lead foot, listen up. Mayor Kurt Lang is looking to add a new traffic camera to catch drivers running red lights. Under state law, using cameras to ticket drivers is illegal, but according to NBC Connecticut, the mayor hopes to talk with lawmakers about a possible pilot program in Hamden. New traffic lights are going up in several intersections across Hamden, and Lang plans to add cameras to gather traffic info. Many residents are opposed to the idea of red light cameras, citing privacy concerns. In the meantime, Lang thinks that they will be a tool to help Hamden PD. And a New Haven billboard is causing controversy, and some community members are even demanding that it be taken down. The sign is along Interstate 91, and it reads, "Weed is legal in 60 miles. That references legalized marijuana in Massachusetts. The protest was started by Turnbridge, an addiction center in New Haven. The sign advertises for Weed Maps, which is an app that helps users learn more about marijuana and where to get it. Turnbridge has since put up a billboard that says addiction treatment is closer."
Hashtag Bobcat Nation Supports Butte County Schools is a fundraiser that both the Quinnipiac University Department of Athletics and Quinnipiac Student Athlete Advisory Committee are spearheading. Proceeds are going to the Butte County Schools Fire Relief Fund as they rebuild following the devastation of the Camp Fire back in November. With many student athletes being originally from California, they found it important to support those on the West Coast. Q30 News spoke to men's basketball head coach Baker Dunleavy to see what this fundraiser means to him.
We have a high character group that take pride in doing the right thing, and I think there was an opportunity to help, and that's their mentality. So I'm proud of them. We want to be good representatives for our school, for all the right causes, and it comes from the heart. It comes from the right place. We have a really good group of guys, starting with our seniors and on down.
The Department of Public Safety and Student Health Services are collaborating to implement an EMT service comprised of Quinnipiac students, according to an email sent to students on Wednesday. An information session will be held on Tuesday, February 19th at 6 p.m. in the Rocky Top Student Center. Any students who are current EMTs are encouraged to attend. SGA is currently working in an initiative to put free feminine products in bathrooms on campus. Members of SGA have been working on this initiative since last year. Yale recently passed a program to do the same on Monday. The program's president believes that purchasing these products put an unnecessary financial burden on women and said that they should be made available just like toilet paper. Lily Gaeta explained how she will be working with students from Yale on this initiative.
I actually reached out to someone from Yale so I could talk to them about how they went through that process and see if there are any similar steps that I could take. But I think it's really awesome, and I think it sets a good precedent for us. So hopefully, eventually, we can follow in their footsteps.
Tonight, the university is continuing its recognition of Black History Month by hosting Dr. Belina Love to speak to students. It happened tonight at 6:30 at the Mount Carmel Auditorium. Dr. Love is an award-winning author and professor at the University of Georgia. She's become well known for her talks on hip-hop, education, and social issues facing Black and LGBT youth. And also for Black History Month, a special exhibit at the school library is open to commemorate Frederick Douglass. Douglass was, of course, born a slave in Maryland in the 19th century before writing his now famous autobiography and fleeing the U.S. for Ireland. The exhibit is open to the public and will be open for the rest of the month.
We would love more students to visit it because Frederick Douglass is such a significant figure in American history, and his life story is so incredible. The fact he escaped from slavery when he was 20 years old, which is the same age as so many of our students. And again, that's something that is inspirational, just to consider how brave he was. And then the rest of his life was also incredible.
After the break, Brooke Reilly is here with the latest in politics, from the president to new controversies in Virginia state government.
And don't miss an exclusive look at the history of the Arnold Bernard Library. Olivia Schuler has the story. Stay with us. Well, if you're like most Quinnipiac students, you've had more than a few late nights at the Arnold Bernard Library on main campus.
Olivia Schuler has an exclusive look at the Quinnipiac Landmark's history and its future.
The unique clock tower is a Quinnipiac University landmark, but in 1966, this known structure looked much different.
The library was designed by Centerbrook Architects out of Essex, Connecticut, and it was designed in consultation with university administrators.
The Arnold Bernard Library was named after Arnold Bernard, who was founder and chief executive of a financial advisory investment service. His son made a $1 million donation for the library. Today, the library is home to many resources.
We have over 500,000 ebooks in our ebook collection that's accessible everywhere by our students. We also have over 150,000 print materials in the library. And we have access to 200 databases.
The library is broken up into 3 major departments.
Front desk when you come in, where you check out books, that's the Access Services Department. And then there's Reference Department, and there's Technical Services where a lot of our back operation is happening. That's where processing the books.
The Arnold Bernard Library is most used during final and midterm exam periods. There are more than 600 areas for students to study. Students utilize the library year-round, but the university librarians are hoping to make more accommodations for students in the future.
Certainly more comfortable spaces in addition to that, where people might be able to sit, relax. We would love to have a space where we might have a coffee shop, something like that, so maybe.
At the Arnold Bernard Library, Olivia Schuler, Q30 News.
The popular beauty store Ulta is moving back to Hamden later this year. The store will be relocating from its current location in North Haven, replacing Modell's in the Hamden Marketplace. Also coming to the shopping center is Orange Theory Fitness, a gym that will be replacing TJ Maxx's extra property. Mayor Kurt Lang expressed his excitement about the progress to Hamden's economic development initiatives, saying, quote, "It's a great sign for the Hamden economy when vacancies are filled so quickly," end quote. These stores will be joining Old Navy, Stop & Shop, and Pier 1 Imports in the Hamden Marketplace. And Hamden is now home to a Grammy Award winner, as Hamden native Anthony Rossimondo took home the award for Best Song written for visual media on Sunday night. Rossimondo co-wrote the song Shallow for the film A Star is Born. He also performed the song alongside Lady Gaga during the ceremony. Rossimondo can add this Grammy to his growing collection of awards, as Shallow previously won a Golden Globe for Best Original Song. Next up, the song is nominated for an Oscar, so he may have some new hardware coming soon.
And back by popular demand, the Vagina Monologues are set to return to Quinnipiac this Saturday. The annual show is performed around the country and is organized here at Quinnipiac by the Women in Support of Humanity group. The show sheds light on issues faced by women in an open setting. Tickets are $5 and all proceeds benefit the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. And happening this week, Q-Thon is delivering chocolate-covered strawberries just in time for Valentine's Day. You can sign up for that at a table set up in the Student Center. Q-Thon is, of course, the annual dance-a-thon that raises money for the Connecticut Children's Miracle Center. This year's marathon will be on March 23rd, and you can tune into Q30 for our live stream of that event.
The Quinnipiac University Theater program will be presenting the musical Next to Normal from February 27th to March 3rd at the Center for Theater Arts. The show explores how a seemingly typical suburban family copes with mental illness. It follows a couple and their 2 teenage kids, demonstrating how their lives are affected by their mother's battle with manic depression. Tickets are $10 for students and $15 for general admission.
And registration is now open for the big event. It's set for April 6th, and students are being encouraged to make a team and participate in the day of service. The big event is the biggest single day of community service on campus, and students can learn more about the organization on its Facebook page.
With the 2020 elections ahead, there is plenty of political news to discuss.
Brooke Reilly is here with everything from Trump's border wall to Virginia's governor. Brooke?
Thanks, guys. It has definitely been an eventful week in the political world. On Monday, President Trump traveled to El Paso, Texas to give a speech on why the border wall is still needed. When a supporter in the crowd said, quote, "build that wall," end quote, President Trump responded with this, quote, "now you really mean finish that wall because we have built a lot of it, and that means finish that wall," end quote. President Trump also intends to sign the border security deal to avoid another government shutdown. Trump needs $5.7 billion to build his wall, and with the agreement, he will only be getting $1,375 billion. Virginia's governor is not going anywhere after pictures of him in blackface surfaced the internet. Virginia's Governor Ralph Northam admitted to darkening his face as a part of Michael Jackson costume for a dance party in college in 1984. Northam said in an interview with Gayle King, quote, "I was born into white privilege and that has implications to it, and it is much different the way a white person such as myself is treated in this country," end quote. The interview comes after the Virginia governor's college yearbook was discovered with him in a racist costume, which he claims that was not intended that way. Several Democrats in Washington have called on Northam to resign. However, the governor told his cabinet that he's still holding on. More scandals coming out of Virginia as Justin Fairfax has been accused by 2 women of sexual assault. Fairfax currently serves as the state of Virginia's lieutenant governor. In a statement, Fairfax said, quote, "I say again without reservation, I did not sexually assault or rape Meredith Watson, Vanessa Tyson, or anyone else," end quote. He acknowledges both interactions with the 2 women, but says the instances were consensual. Fairfax could also face criminal consequences from allegations that he forced a woman to perform oral sex on him during the 2004 Democratic National Convention in Boston. That's all I have now for this week's political news. Alex and Matt, back to you guys.
Thanks, Brooke. Still to come after the break.
Kerry Golden is here with your 7-day forecast. Will we see another snow day next week? Stay tuned for that. And later, Shane Dennehy has all your latest sports headlines. Stay with us.
Yesterday's snow left the road conditions very icy this morning. Kerry, are we in store for more winter weather this week?
Thanks, guys. We got a little bit of a preview of what we're going to see tomorrow and Friday. Again, we're going to see on Thursday, partly sunny with a high of 41 and a low of 32. So hopefully it will melt away some of that ice and snow. But Friday is going to bring in some showers with a high of 49 and a low of 28 that may cause some ice around the area. So let's take a look at the 7-day forecast to see what the rest of the week has in store here in Hampden. So again, Friday we're going to have that rain coming in with a high of 49 and a low of 28. Saturday though is going to be cloudy with a high of 39 and a low of 21. But Sunday the sun is going to come back out and hopefully melt away that rain and snow to bring in a good rest of the week. So we have a high of 37 and a low of 25 on Sunday. Let's take a look at Monday. There is going to be some snow flurries coming in on Mondays with a high of 34 and a low of 15. So make sure you wear your snow boots to class on Monday. And Tuesday, to round off the week, we're going to have a high of 35 and a low of 23 and partially sunny. So not a bad week other than Monday. Let's see how the rest of Connecticut panned out today. Over in Torrington, we had a high of 34. Danbury saw 37. New Haven, Hartford, and Norwich, they all saw 40 degrees today. And in New London with the highest of 41. So right around those same temperatures around the area in Connecticut. So Alex, Matt, if you go outside in the next week, make sure you guys definitely dress warm.
Thanks, Kerry. Here with the latest on El Chapo's arrest and other top national headlines is Nhung An. Nhung, what's the latest from around the country?
That's right, Matt. The infamous Mexican drug lord El Chapo was finally found guilty yesterday. The trial for drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman happened yesterday where he was found guilty. The testimony lasted nearly 3 months. Guzman faced 10 criminal counts related to international drugs trafficking. Evidence showed that he smuggled drugs into the U.S. through secret tunnels and hidden undercarriages of trucks and cars. Guzman is facing life sentence in prison. A white supremacist was sentenced to life in prison without parole earlier today. James Jackson was accused of stabbing a black man to death in Manhattan 2 years ago. He pleaded guilty to first-degree murder last month. Jackson's plea marked the first conviction of a white supremacist on terrorism charges in the state of New York. 2 NYPD officers were shot Tuesday night. One was fatal in New York City. According to NYPD, Detective Brian Simonson was killed in a tragic case of a friendly fire. The 2 police officers were at a T-Mobile store in Queens, responding to an armed robbery call. Simonson's partner was shot in the leg, but NYPD says he is in stable condition. The department paid tribute to Simonson's death last night after the incident and this morning. That's all I have for your national updates. Alex, Matt, back to you at the desk.
After the break, Shane Dennehy is here with the latest in Quinnipiac sports.
Plus, we have the story of a special act of kindness. You don't want to miss this. It was the Battle of Whitney Avenue. Shane Dennehy is here with all the heart-pounding details of this weekend's hockey games and more.
Thanks, Matt, and you're exactly right. That was quite a heart-pounding game for Quinnipiac fans. Finally, after last year, the schedule makers weren't too kind to Quinnipiac, and yet Quinnipiac students, as the game was held on a Saturday heading into Thanksgiving break. So not too many students. This time, there were plenty of students. Let's roll that tape and see how Quinnipiac did against their arch rivals, Yale. Here we go. First period. Quite the start for Quinnipiac, bombarding 24 shots on net. Nick Germain with that backhander. He gets the arena jumping, and it was rocking in there in the Frank Perani Jr. Arena. We go to the second period. Craig Martin to Peter Dilibatore to the sweetest sensation, William Falstrom in front. 2-0 QU. Luke Shiplow getting a little more playing time after Brandon Fortunato's season-ending injury, and he's rewarding himself right there. Selly on point. That's a 4.0 if you ask me. Now we head to the third period. Speaking of number 4, Nick Germain with the helper, Quinnipiac's number 4, Michael Lombardi. He scores. Quinnipiac's 4th on that one. Quinnipiac takes down arch rivals Yale 4-0. Fortunately enough for Quinnipiac, they couldn't ride all that momentum as they would lose to Brown the next night 4-1 and fall to 6th in the USCHO.com polls. Although that game was on everyone's focus, the women's ice hockey team also faced Yale on Friday, and that game quite more important as Quinnipiac hanging on to the 8th spot. Freshman Lexi Agia would put the Bobcats on top. Midway through the first period, Agia has now scored. That was her 3rd straight game with a goal, and Quinnipiac unfortunately would tie Yale 2-2 in the end. Randy Marcone scoring her 2nd, also her 3rd in as many games. And now we're going to talk about arguably the most successful team at the Quinnipiac University, the women's basketball team. They would celebrate their 5 seniors on Saturday afternoon against Canisius, including Aaron McClure, Jen Fay, Paula Stroutmanet, Adele Thornton, and Brittany Martin, who have brought this program to a new level. McClure, Stroutmanet, and Fay have all tallied over 1,000 points in their career. With that win over Canisius on Saturday, the senior class has now won over 99 games in their career. Although they have achieved so much, this class will look to win its 3rd straight MAC championship game come this March. Matt and Alex, back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Shane. Now for a story that will hopefully warm your heart during this cold winter week. Senior Nick Calderero took to Facebook to encourage students to be a little more generous.
That's right. Calderero shared an interaction from this past weekend after QU Snow returned from its trip to Killington, Vermont. When the buses returned to Quinnipiac, the bus drivers were surprised and thankful to receive a generous tip from the students.
Calderero spoke to Q30 News to explain just what the interaction meant to him. That's all the time we have tonight on the Q30 Newscast.
You can follow us on Twitter at Q30 News and stay up to date with the latest headlines on Q30TV.com.
Thanks for watching. Good night, Quinnipiac.